This is the ZM Ultra and scope of delivery for the standard kit is the main unit, transducer, the sensor pair for clamp-on types with fastening straps and silicone grease for attaching the sensors onto the pipe, the charging accessories and one battery, and optional you have the guiding rail for easier mounting of the sensors onto the pipe and the pipe wall thickness gauge for measuring the pipe wall thickness. This is the main unit with always a USB port for downloading the data from the memory of the device or updating the firmware if necessary. Optional, you can have a second lid for SIM card insertion for the built-in modem to transfer the data remotely. Here you have a QR code for initiating the Wi-Fi connection with a Wi-Fi enabled device. Here you have the battery compartment, which you can open with the screwdriver, which is part of the delivery. Inside you have two compartments for two batteries, which gives you great autonomy of the device. Here you have the status LED and read contact for activating the device when it is on sleep. On the back of the ZM Ultra we have different sockets for connecting, for example here, external power source on the multi-IO socket and or additional external sensors like a pressure sensor, for example. And here on V1 you can connect the standard ultrasonic sensor pair, and on V2 optional a second ultrasonic sensor pair. To set up the device, you have to open the battery compartment and insert the battery into the device, or alternatively you can apply the external power source on the back on the I/O socket. Once the device is powered, the status LED will show with the white blink that it is now booting the software inside the ZM Ultra, and once the booting is finished, it will show another status blink, which is a long blink in the beginning and 5 short blinks afterwards. The long blink means that a sensor is connected or not. In this case, the red color of the long blink now shows no sensors connected, and the 5 yellow blinks in the end means that no Wi-Fi enabled device is paired with the modem of the ZM Ultra. When you connect the sensor on the back, the status on the front LED will change. Now all is green. It means the long blink sensor pair is successfully detected and connected, and the 5 small blinks show that no Wi-Fi enabled device is connected yet. To connect your Wi-Fi enabled device with the ZM Ultra, you open your camera and you scan the QR code, and you just click on connect, and once it's connected you have access to the modem of the ZM Ultra. Once the Wi-Fi is connected to your mobile device, the status LED will show how many devices are connected through a blue LED blink. Now in this case, 1 Wi-Fi device is connected. To access the ZM Ultra, you can use any Wi-Fi enabled device with a standard browser on it. In this case, we use Safari from Apple, and you open the browser and you always use the same IP address, which is 192. It's already written 168.1.1, and you access it. And after you have established the connection, you will see here in the main screen the flow. At the moment, the sensors are not attached to a pipeline, therefore the dashes. I have the level, which in this case shows the pipe diameter, the velocity of the flow on the pipe, the temperature, which is not a measured temperature but a calculated, and the totalizer of the volume of water which flows through already. When connected successfully to the device, you will see here in the main screen the flow, which is detected by the sensors down at the pipe, the level, which is not a level in this case, but the diameter of pipe you're measuring at this moment, the velocity in meters per second, the temperature, which is a calculated temperature, not a measured one, and a totalizer for the total volume of water flown through. To set up a measurement site, you always have to go back to the main menu. And here you have different options. First is the application. In the application menu, you can see the sensor alignment, for example, and also set up the measurement site itself. In the data section, you can choose the storage of your data and the format. In the system, you can choose language settings and also see firmware version, etc. In the communication, you can set up the modem if you have a built-in modem for remote data transfer in the device. In the display, you can set up the main screen for the different values which should be shown there. The battery shows you the remaining battery level of the batteries inside. In the quick start, you can have a guided one-by-one setup for the measurement site. And in the alert section, you can set alarm values where the device should alarm. To set up the measurement site, I always use the quick start. It will ask you if you want to create a new measurement place. I click on yes, and if I want to delete the old measurement site, including the parameters, if I click on no, it will be saved. In the first page, you get the region settings, like the language, the date format, the units which should be used. You can choose here, for example, between metric, English, or American units. Here metric is in liter per seconds for the flow, velocity meters per second, level in meters, and the totalizer in cubic meters. The same applies for the data, which should be saved on the device. System time, the time zone you're using, and here important is the storage mode. In the cyclic mode, the device will always go back to sleep between the measurement cycles. In this case, every 2 minutes it will wake up, take a recording, saves it, and goes back to sleep. In the continuous operation, the device never sleeps, and you can go down to 5 seconds. That's the highest resolution. That means every 5 seconds you have one data point. On the next page, you set up the pipe itself and the type of sensors you are using. So here in this case, clamp on. We also could have the options for insertion type ultrasonic sensors. The path setup is for the number of passes you are using. If you use diametral only one dash, it means the sensors needs to be installed on the opposite of the pipe. The V and W, the sensor needs to be installed on the same side of the pipe, and on V you have 2 times the signal traveling through the medium, and in W 4 times. The pass numbers in this case means the number of sensor pairs you have connected, usually always 1, but optional you could have 2 sensor pairs on the same pipe for having a more reliable and accurate reading of the flow. The medium, you can choose water, which is the standard one, but you could also define your own medium. The temperature is the gas temperature of the water inside, or if you have the option to measure it, it's also good. So you type in here the temperature. Then the channel profile, you can choose between pipe and rectangle for sewer networks, for example, but in our case, pipe is always the right choice, right geometry. And here in the setup of the pipe itself, you have now here, because I have a lining, if I don't have a lining, you only use 2 parameters like the circumference of the pipe and, for example, the pipe wall thickness, and the other parameters like the inner diameter and the outer diameter will be calculated accordingly to the equation of a circle. On the next page, you will now get asked if you want to save the parameters. The next page you have the sensor alignment, and here in the first row it shows you the distance along. That means the spacing of the sensors on the pipe, in this case 736 millimeters, and the path length, which is not important, but just the length of the signal traveling through the medium. Here in the color-coded display, it shows you if the sensors are aligned good enough. So it's always in the green area, it's good. If it's in yellow or red, it needs readjustments of the sensor. Here in the first column for the distance, if it's in the upper area, they are too far apart. So you need to bring them a bit closer together and see if the dash changes to the green section. If it's too much in the lower area, that means they are too close to each other, so they need to be separated a bit, and then see that the dash moves towards the green area. The gain is for the amplification of the sensor, should also be here only in the green area. If it's in the red, it's too much gain you're using, it's also not good for the sensor to work perfectly. And the quality is the quality of the signal received by the sensor. Also here it should be shown as a green bar. If it's red, you need to realign or find a new position of the sensors. In the next page you have the option for activating different analog in and outputs. And here you can choose like a external reading or like an eye sensor, which is our own. On the external sensor you can use any standard 4 to 20 milliampere sensor, for example, or 0 to 20 milliampere, and you can choose the units and a label. And also here a 2-point calibration. That means at 4 milliampere it has 0 pH, for example, in this case, and at 20 milliampere it has a pH of 14 if it's a pH sonde for the whole range between 0 and 14. And that's it. Next thing, you can go back to the main screen, and now the new measurement side will show you the correct values.